La Chanson d'Érinier, Volume 1. How the emissary of King Remus came to Érinier, asking her for a gift of Aremori Castle's water and earth, and for her to submit to the Symphonia Capitoli, which means the eternal harmony. Chapter 6, Part 7. Of the glorious deeds of Otekeros of Renanie, a righteous and noble knight, and his valiant battle against the venom-breathing dragon, much has already been said earlier that we shall draw to a close here. Now, we shall look back and talk of Érinier in those days. At the time, Érinier had just defeated the princes of Beloko, Atrebatis, and Euromando, and accepted their allegiance. And so the residents of those lands knew of the kindness of the mistress of many waters, submitting to her rule with sincerity. To celebrate that fealty and wisdom, 8 days of feasting were ordered in Aremori Castle, with all to be treated as honored guests. On that day, a musician arrived, an emissary dispatched by King Dremulus of Capitoli, claiming to have a message to deliver. He came with no attendants or guards, just a single horse, and a gold-tipped faces as a symbol of his status. Everyone present was deeply displeased, but the emissary was permitted to speak out of respect for Érinier, the beloved leader of the knights. On seeing Érinier, the emissary first wished her well and performed a formal bow before explaining his intent. I represent the most honorable and greatest King Remus, Emperor of all, and send my regards to your court. May your anger never destroy your powers of reasoning. King Remus asks of you 2 gifts as legitimate tribute. The first is water, for the purest of waters can wash away all sins. The second is earth, for dense earth can resist the erosion that looms. King Remus expects you and your people to honor his wishes. Should you dare resist, death shall be sure to follow. The emissary's message sent Sir Guillaume of Guelon into a rage, and he drew the sacred blade Narbonne from its scabbard. "Seize, you baggart! To make such threats on this occasion is an insult to every knight here. And if you mean to threaten my sworn liege, there is no need for me to hold back. I shall have your head, sir, in a single stroke." More of the brave knights drew their swords, including Knight Blancardin and his compatriot, Knight Marsil. But the wise knight Érinier gave an order to the knights present. The emissary from Capitolani was not to be harmed. "Please tell King Remus, great emissary, that in this whole world there is only one to whom we bend the knee, and that is the beneficent mistress of many waters, our mistress, who bears for us our sins, the greatest and most honorable ruler. No other ruler or god can be spoken of in the same breath, for she is the greatest in kindness and first in glory." On hearing that, King Remus' emissary again spoke, saying this before all gathered there. "Before King Remus conquers your land, he shall send war or hunger or plague upon you. Those who once fought against each other have been brought to peace under a single ruler, and this is wisdom. For otherwise, who shall mourn when the waters flow over your heads? And who shall save us in our hour of need? Of all these braves, who has rescued themselves from ignorance and superstition? Who hears the cries of the weak? King Remus's orders are well meant and born of pity. He does not wish to see a single person fall into the waters. He would see all saved." Volume 2. How the knights of every region united to lend their strength to Érinier in opposition to the designs of the Capitolani to invade. When Sir Agrican had finished, the fine bowman knight-dressed Prince of Lyonnais was first to speak and offer his view. The harmony and prosperity that Vivarium's heir has promised us are naught but lies, his promise but trickery. Knight Erinais of the Lake Light, none so wise and noble as you should be taken in by such pretense. You must know that those words are aimed much like a poisoned arrow tipped with gold. It may be dazzling to watch, but the pain it brings shall be all the greater. His fair companion, Atsiltia, the lady of the azure sail, whose name meant daughter of ice, was next to speak. Vivarium's heir is the least trustworthy of traitors. That he would have such harmonious congress with Boethius is completely bewildering. Knight Erinais of the Lake Light, no matter what reason he offers, we cannot let the Capitolani harm all we know to be good. Please, make up your mind as soon as you are able, and do battle with the court of the Capitolani, for there shall be no salvation for our souls should you bend the knee. Let the evil disappear like dew in the sun. Oath breakers and the unjust will be driven from this world. And in this way, songs will be sung of your wisdom, for those who seek to exact depth of bloodshed will be remembered by those in misery. And following that, Sir Names, Sir Tulpen, and all the other noble knights lent their swords to the fight. Erinie knew of their dedication and offered her sincere thanks. Then she met with King Remus's musician and spoke to him as follows. Please inform King Remus, noble emissary, that no monarch of this world is bond to bow to another. The mistress of many waters has granted us all equal honor. There are none greater who shall trample me, none lesser who must envy me. And I am to lead her blessed army to destroy the white dragon and the grand city, and to cleanse their bodies in their own blood. Like a herder drives the wolves from his flock, I will drive the invaders from this land, to serve as an eternal warning. And with that, Erinie ordered Sir Fierabras to prepare wondrous gifts for the Capitolani musician. She also ordered the emissary to be escorted back to Charybdis castle so he could report to King Remus. Of that we shall write later. Volume 3, Chapter 20, Part 3. How Erinie bid farewell to the mistress of many waters, and how she threw her sword into the lake 3 times. The mistress of many waters heard all of this, and in her eternal kindness, compassion, and grace granted Erinie her wish. And so Erinie said, Thank you, O Queen of many waters, for showing me the pure grail I so urgently desired, and for allowing me to complete this journey. Those knights who yet survive, your servants, will continue to loyally serve you and your future kingdom, following that noble musician. They will pursue the lingering shadows, restoring justice, for those who travel in the dark yearn for the light, while those in the light know nothing of the dark. Goodness is nothing but a dream. Thus do I present these good knights to you and beg that you forgive their sins. The mistress of many waters heard all of this, and, in her eternal kindness, compassion, and grace, granted Erinie her wish. And so Erinie said, O Queen of many waters, I confess to you my sins and do not hide my evil, for they are too grave to be forgiven. In your high and pure ideals, you must not forgive such sins. The only possible comfort for my soul is expulsion and exile. There are no angels or divine edicts. In your kind and loving land, only sin may determine sin, and only people may judge people. I ask only that you remember my suffering and witness our grievances, for these are like disease, like a poison. I submit my name into your hands, and may all who criticize us be cursed for all eternity for their lack of righteousness. The knight with sea-colored eyes finished her speech and drew her shining sword. A beam of watery light shone from it and lit the valley. Oh, fair Hauteclair, sword of light, How you shine under the blazing sun's beams! You have drunk the crimson blood of the unrighteous. Oathbreakers and the unjust have fallen like flakes of snow onto the ground before your purity. Countless sins stain my coat, for I bear the guilt of bloodshed. I have taken lives, even that of the righteous, yet still you shine. May the mistress of many waters have mercy. The unrighteous are not worthy of you. Beautiful and holy lake light, I now return you to the lake. Thus did a knight with sea-colored eyes cease speaking, and she threw the sword in her hand to the waters of the lake. Yet the sword did not sink, and drifted back to her feet. Oh, fair Autoclair, sword of light, you are so lovely and sacred, your golden hilt inlaid with jewels. Diera, that maiden by the lake, that noble lady of pure waters, gifted you to the chief of knights so she could perform countless deeds. She once used you to conquer Perigord, and she once used you to defeat Izias. Even the Fae of the distant south could not seize you. May the mistress of many waters have mercy. The unrighteous are not worthy of you. Beautiful, holy lake light, I return you now to the lake. Thus did a knight of sea-colored eyes cease speaking, and she threw the sword in her hand to the waters of the lake. Yet the sword did not sink and drift back to her feet. Oh, great Hauteclair, sword of light, by your blade were so many conflicts settled in peace, and the ravages of war laid to rest in these lands. One day there shall be one nobler than I, 7 times more so, who will lift you again, and they shall do deeds 7 times greater. How many wondrous days have I spent beside you? Oh. Dawn breaks, yet I have lost the crown of righteousness forever. May the mistress of many waters have mercy. The unrighteous are not worthy of you. Beautiful and holy lake light, I return you now to the lake. Thus did the knight of 7-colored eyes cease speaking, and she threw the sword in her hand to the waters of the lake. The sword sank without a trace. And then she left with the spirit who had been by her side from the start, never again to be seen by any in this world. Thank you for listening. Check the description for more info on where to find my content, and subscribe so you don't miss my videos. Until next time, stay safe.